Thanks for stopping by the channel today, guys. Today we have another unboxing video and an overview of the VISUO XS809S Battle Sharks drone. Stay tuned. Alright guys, let's jump right in this. Today we're going to be having a look at the VISUO Battle Sharks. This is the XS809S. The claim to fame on this particular model is an 18 to 20 minute flight time. Now I've looked at other YouTube videos, reviews out there. The average flight time on this is between 16 and 18 minutes, which is pretty astounding for a toy grade quad. Now this is an upgraded version of the widely popular VISUO XS809H and XS809HW. I do own the XS809HW, and I'll show you a side-by-side comparison once we get this thing unboxed. But without any further ado, let's take a look at the box itself. This is a nice flat black satin finish box with the VISUO logo up on the top left corner. We have a picture of the quadcopter in the center here with the rack of really cool Battle Sharks teeth, the Battle Sharks logo on the bottom, and then we have high performance 4-channel camera quadcopter on the front here as well. The side of the box in the front here has nothing. This side here we're greeted with the VISUO logo. The back end of the box has nothing, and on this side right here we are greeted with either Google Play or the Apple App Store, two of the places that we could download the app to actually get the Wi-Fi feed to our phone, or to actually control this quad from an app. So you can use an app alone on your cell phone. You don't have to use the included transmitter to fly this. On the back of the box, guys, we have the normal warning stuff in about 4 different languages here. We have all the variants of this quadcopter. Looks to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I have the 720p version here to show you guys today, and my particular package came with 2 batteries. There's, again, you have different packages, include different amounts of batteries, different cameras, that type of thing. So this is a 2.4 gigahertz system, 6-axis gyro. 3 speed ranges on this one. This one does your flips and rolls, has an included USB charger, built-in camera, 720p on this one, guys. Auto hover, or basically an altitude hold quad, headless mode, and this is, like I mentioned before, app control, so you don't have to have your transmitter to fly this. And then you have up on top here, we have our UPC code. So that's pretty much it for the box in and of itself. Let's take a look and see what we have inside. Alright guys, we're going to get with this quadcopter 4 prop guards. I recommend using these for newbies. If you're not new to the game, I don't recommend using these. These act like kind of Christmas tree ornament hangers. They will hang your quad up in a tree quicker than you can say. Fill in the blank there. So those are nice to have for newbies, so hang on to those for sure. You're going to get 4 spare props with this as well, guys, so that came in the package as well. You're going to get a USB to micro USB charger cable. Charging these batteries is going to take about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and they have a LED light in here that will be on when it's charging and off when it's done, so pretty easy to use that as well. This particular variant of the quadcopter came with 2 batteries. Now these batteries are 3.85 volt. It's a little bit higher voltage than standard 3.7. So it's 3.85 volt, 1800 milliamp hour battery. So these are claimed to get about 18 to 20 minutes of flight time for your quad. Most of the reviews that I've seen thus far are claiming about 16 or 18 minutes, depending on conditions, all that type of thing. But this particular one came with 2. Now this is a proprietary battery. I can say that. On the top here you have your leads that will actually plug in and make contact with the pins inside the quad. On this right hand side here we have our micro USB port that would actually be for charging, and we've got 2 of those, so we'll go ahead and set those aside for now. Our transmitter is going to be standard fare VISUO. This is a altitude hold quad, so you'll notice that the throttle stick is self-centering on here. Everything is nicely labeled on this one, guys. We have our 3 speeds up on the top left shoulder button here. On the right shoulder button we have our flip function. We have our 1 key takeoff and land right here. Below that we have our emergency stop. We have our 4 position trim function here. We have an on and off button. These 2 buttons are relegated for camera. Now these are, I don't believe, function. These will not function with this particular variant of this quad. We have a we have a headless mode button here and our return to home on that side. As with the previous editions of this quad, the FPV phone holder is incorporated right into the body of the transmitter, so that basically just snaps out and folds out. And then we have a spring-loaded clip on here that will hold even larger size phones. I have a Samsung Galaxy J7, which has a 5.5-inch screen, and I have kind of an OtterBox on it, and it tends to hold this without a problem. So really nicely done on there. As with the other transmitter, this is going to take 3 AA batteries, and there is a screw on the back here. I forgot to mention you get the obligatory screwdriver as well, but there is a screw on the back here, and for whatever reason this battery back on this transmitter does not stay in place well, so I do use the screw on here. But again, 3 AA batteries, and you will have to purchase these on your own. They are not included, so this is not actually a ready to fly unit. Now with this particular transmitter, I have to physically take this little tab and snap it into place to hold it in, but I'm going to go ahead and put the screw back in here anyway, because I'm not really too trusting of that just yet. And we'll go ahead and insert that screw again, set this off to the side, and we'll show you guys the quadcopter next. Now the quad is I'll make sure I grab the right one here. Okay, the quad is the same but different. So we have here a completely folding quad, kind of a Mavic clone, but VISUO put their own spin on this particular model. This is what they're calling the Battle Shark model, and you can see we have a red LED bar up in front here with angry looking, sharky looking teeth on there. Let's go ahead and get this unfolded. This unfolds the same way as the previous rendition of this quad, so you just basically swing these out and snap them into place, no levers to mess with, and we are completely unfolded at this point. Let's go ahead and get this stuff out of the way here. Okay, so now we can see we have a really nice looking little quadcopter here, guys. We have light we have LED lights on all 4 of the motor pods on the bottom here. Power switch on the bottom as well, so we have on and off switch like the previous version. And this one does have a physical micro SD card slot. Not quite sure if that's an active slot or not. I'd have to do some research and let you guys know in a future video when I do the flight video for this. We have our FPV antenna sticking out the side here, and we have a 720p camera that is swiveling all the way down to 90 degrees and beyond. Feels a little, not really loose, but it feels like it could move during flight, so you want to kind of be careful with that. There may be a way I can tighten that up with a screw or something. I have to take a look at that a little closer, but I will mention that that does feel a little looser than I'd like it to be. So I'll go ahead and put that in its forward position. The battery on this one is going to be 1800 milliamp hours, and I showed you that before. And how to install the battery in here, guys, pretty simple. You're going to notice on the bottom of the fuselage here we have a cutout and a U shape, so we're going to want to mimic that U shape with the raised section here on the battery, and go ahead and just insert that into the back and then snap it into place. You'll hear a click and you're ready to rock and roll. Now if you want to compare this to the XS809 HW, the previous version of this, we can see that that one is right here, and let's get this transmitter out of the way so we can see these both a little closer. Now the older model here doesn't have the battery capacity that this one does, and you can see there's a little bit of differentiation in the fuselage, not very much though. This one seems to be a little bit more pronounced up in the front here, a little different cutting or different molding here on the side where the eyes would be, where I consider the eyes on this one would be. And if you look at it from the front, we have 2 LEDs on the previous version with the 720p camera on the front. The Battle Sharks has the red LED bar on the front with the teeth and the 720p camera below, but everything else looks pretty much the same. The LEDs on the motor pods are in the same position. It folds the same way. I'm going to go ahead and guess it has the same motors in it. This one may have slightly bigger motors because of the little bit higher voltage, but I don't think so. It's looking like the props are about the same as well, guys, so I think parts are going to be interchangeable between these two. The thing that VISUO did that kind of, I guess it's a marketing thing. It's to make money, obviously, and it's a capitalist society, so that's what we're here to do, right? So what they've done is they've created a quadcopter that has a proprietary battery, but the battery on the first or second generation, which I have here, the HW, so I can get it out of here without looking like a fool. There we go. And the battery on the new version, XS809S, is about twice as thick as the old one. So this one is not going to fit into the old quadcopter, or vice versa. Now I've seen where some guys are actually able to take this and get it to work inside the old or inside the new version. I don't know why you'd want to. It's like half the life. This is 900 milliamp hours. This one's 1800 milliamp hours. These are readily available. They're not too expensive, and you can get multiple charger cords for this as well, so you can charge more than one battery at one time. Neither here nor there. So these are drastically different in size, guys. So that's one thing they're not interchangeable. And from what I've understood as well, and I'm going to do some testing on this to find out for sure, is that the protocols are slightly different and you're not able to use the XS809HW transmitter on the new version of this bird. So that being said, this is what we're looking at for the new one here. Now, as far as the transmitters go, guys, pretty much the same thing here. Now you'll notice on the XS809HW transmitter, it's pretty much labeled the same way. It looks a little different because I did a modification to it to get more range on this. In a stock form, you're looking at about 80 to 100 meters of flight distance, and probably about 50, maybe 60, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on conditions, meters of Wi-Fi FPV transmission. So what I've done here is I just went ahead and installed this antenna on here, and it's really pretty simple to do. And if you guys want to know how to do that, I'll post a video. I actually have a video posted on my channel. I'm showing you how to do this with two different transmitters, and I'll put a link in the description so you guys can check one of those out. But set up the same way. I don't believe the protocols are the same, so a little bit different, but that's like I say, so they pretty much didn't change anything. Both really nice feeling transmitters. So let's go ahead and get this thing bound up, and I'll show you guys how to get this motor going, these motors going on here. But before we do that, I want to show you, we do have a owner's manual with this as well that I almost forgot about. And it's a gatefolded format on here. Everything is nicely labeled, nicely laid out, gives you all the information you need to know about getting this thing in the air, some safety precautions, that type of thing. Everything is really nice as far as the Chinese to English translation on here as well, guys. So a good one to hang on to, good reference for future. So hang on to that for sure. I wouldn't toss that one out. We also have an addendum on that. So this is basically just giving some information on what to do after a crash and how to rewind your quadcopter. There's some certain steps that you have to take. So this is kind of an addendum to the manual. And then this came over the top of the transmitter, giving you information on how to calibrate your gyros, how to take off, how to do just your basic operation. So that's kind of a handy little thing too for anybody that might be new to quadcopters or new to the this particular format of quads. So let's go ahead and get this thing bound up. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, guys, first thing we're going to do to get this thing going is insert the battery in the back. And I showed you how to do that earlier, so go ahead and pop this in place. Make sure that snaps good in there. We'll set it off in front of us here. And actually, let's go ahead and turn this thing on first. So I'll give you guys a quick look at what it looks like turned on. We have red lights in the back. We have green lights in the front. Pretty much the way it should be. The only thing that throws off that whole formula is the red grill on the front here with the scary sharky teeth. But still kind of a cool looking quad. I really think this is really kind of neat. But we'll go ahead and set that aside for now. And we'll get our transmitter. And we'll go ahead and power up our transmitter. And we can see that we have rapidly flashing LEDs on there. To bind the transmitter is going to be up on the throttle and then down. We have solid lights to go ahead and calibrate the gyros. That's going to be both sticks down and out. 2 beeps, and we have everything's calibrated. Now to start the quadcopter up, one of 2 ways you could do it. You can hit the automatic takeoff button here, and this thing will start the motors and it will ascend. We're not going to do that inside the house right here because I'm going to make sure these motors are broken in, and I won't be flying this one inside the house anyway, but I want to make sure these motors are being broken in properly. And to go ahead and start these motors up, we're going to take both sticks down into the inside, and I hope this thing, there we go, focus, down into the inside. So let those go ahead and run. Now this is going to run probably about 10 or so seconds, and it will time itself out as kind of a fail-safe so the motors aren't overstressing, and so that type of thing. You have to give it stick input after you start this, I mean relatively quickly, otherwise it will time itself out. Now I'm going to recommend doing that same down and onto the inside like this several times, probably 10 or 15 times to get those brushes at least a little bit burned in, and then go ahead and take it out and fly it. I'm also going to recommend that you fly the thing 1 complete battery before you start doing any flips. Give those motors a chance to burn in a little bit. I'm like anybody else. I like to work on this stuff. I like to fix it. I like to repair it, update it, upgrade it, modify it, that type of thing. But I still want to get the most possible mileage out of the original equipment, all from a frugal standpoint. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. We're going to be looking at the app and how to install the app and how to get everything bound up and in the air on the next video. But thanks for stopping by and checking this one out. If you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, guys, if you would. That really helps my channel out a lot. That's pretty much it for this one, guys. We'll see y'all in the next one. God bless the Republic.